Russia continues its cynical shelling of peaceful Ukrainian cities. At least 3 people were killed and 15 more were wounded as the result of Friday night's attack on the city of Dnipro. 4 out of 6 missiles were shot down. There may be water supply disruptions as the result of shelling, the regional administration stated.
Missiles hit an industrial plant and a very busy street near it. The extent of the destruction is being clarified. Valentin Reznichenko, head of the Dnipropetrovsk Regional Military Administration.
The border areas of the Zelenodolsk community also came under enemy fire. As a result, a field caught fire. 5 hectares of wheat were destroyed. The Russian occupiers also shelled most of the Donetsk region. The enemy fired at Bakhmut using Uragan multiple launch rocket systems. 10 multi-story buildings were partially destroyed. The local market and stores were hit. 6 civilians were wounded. The Prosecutor General's Office of Ukraine initiated proceedings for violations of warfare. The sound came from there. We were saved by the protective shutters. The Russian army also hit Slovyansk with cluster shells.
Unfortunately, Slovyansk was shelled again with multiple launch rocket systems and cluster shells. There were killed and wounded.
In Kramatorsk, a shell fell directly on Peace Square. It left a huge crater. No casualties were reported. The television studio of the State Enterprise International Broadcasting Multimedia Platform of Ukraine was also affected. The total amount of damage is being established. 5 multi-story buildings in Kostiantynivka were partially destroyed as the result of shelling by the Russian army. 1 person was wounded. Across the street, we have a house closer to the children's ward, first floor. The window is boarded up, but I heard an explosion. And this is what was left of the Mykolaiv shipbuilding university after the missile attack. 10 shells hit the city. A pedagogical higher education institution, private and multi-story buildings were also damaged. No casualties were reported.
Всего было 2 университета.
There were only 2 shipbuilding universities in the former Soviet Union, Mykolaiv University and St. Petersburg University. I wonder, they blocked the sea for us. They are destroying ports. Now they have destroyed the only shipbuilding university. How would they react if 5 missiles hit their St. Petersburg University?
After a relative calm, the Odessa region was hit again on Friday.
Противник наніс ракетний удар по області 3 ракетами.
The enemy hit the region with 3 missiles, one of which was shot down by our air defense units. Fortunately, there were no casualties.
The situation on the front line is tense. The enemy is shelling Ukrainian positions with heavy artillery, but it is unable to advance. The Russians tried to occupy the village of Bogorodechne in the Donetsk region. The attacks were repulsed. The Ukrainian military also stopped the assault on Nahirne and Bilogorivka. There, the enemy unsuccessfully tried to take control of the Bakhmut-Lysychansk road section. All attacks in other directions were also repulsed.
An attempt to improve the tactical position in the Solodka-Vodyane, Volodymyrivka-Vodyane, and Yehorivka-Pavlivka directions ended in significant losses for the Russian occupiers. Under the fire of the Ukrainian soldiers, the enemy forces withdrew. The invaders also made several unsuccessful attempts to improve their tactical positions in the directions Mykolaiv-Kaspirne, Mironivka-Voglogirsk thermal power plant, and Vidrodzhenya-Vershina. As a result, the occupiers suffered losses and withdrew.
The Ukrainian armed forces continue to hold the defenses in the remaining part of the Luhansk region controlled by Ukraine. According to the head of the military administration, Serhiy Haidai, the enemy is suffering significant losses, but continues to destroy civilian infrastructure.
We will win. There will be no other option. Looking at the pictures and videos that come to us from different settlements, there will be a lot of work, because this Russian army has destroyed the entire infrastructure. A lot of houses have been ruined.
An end to the war is quite possible as early as this year, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry assures. However, this requires more assistance from international partners, in particular providing heavy equipment which will help the Ukrainian army to go on a counter-offensive. In recent weeks alone, the Ukrainian armed forces have destroyed more than 30 enemy logistical facilities with the help of HIMARS, American multiple launch rocket systems. Reported by Ksenia Buhay, Alexander Belov, UATV News.